the 4Ds that Gabe's always been talking about. Divorce, diapers, diamonds, and death. That's like the main gamut of it, but then it kind of expands a little bit more and you can even get more into it. So now that you know that, Alejandro, take it away.
Hello. To introduce myself, my name is Alejandro de Piedra. I am the Director of Sales for New Homepage, the creators of Fast2Farm. What is New Homepage? First, that is a picture of my dad, Javier de Piedra. Hi, Dad. He is the CEO and creator of New Homepage itself, and we are a data software, data collection, software development company. Video games, apps, if it exists on the internet, we have built at least one of them. With this, when we built Fast2Farm, the question we were asking ourselves and many of the other realtors in the country was, what do real estate agents need? Does anyone want to take a guess at the most common answer we got?
People to sell homes to, or people
Sell
like
homes.
information in general for who needs to buy and sell.
Exactly.
Clients. Big closures.
Big closure.
Closings and clients.
Mhm.
Closings and clients.
We have 2 C's.
The 2 C's, closing and clients.
Right, that's everything I need.
Does anyone else want to take another guess real quick? Motivated by themselves. You're all absolutely correct. And another answer that we got very often was listings. Because if you're able to get all of the listings, that means you have all the information correctly. It means you're able to get those clients and those closings because you have all of the options. And the motivated buyers or sellers are going to come to you because you have all the options. So now that we know we need listings, let's work this backwards. Why do people sell their homes? Well, for lots of reasons. One of them being the home is too small. Maybe there was an increase in family size from a starter home. I know this one for sure. I have a 2-year-old. He's my first son and my parents' first grandkid, so he's of course the favorite. And when me and my wife had him, we lived in a 2-bedroom apartment. When he learned how to walk, I very quickly learned how sharp a rounded corner could be. So we very quickly had to move into a bigger home so that he can run around and play and grow. Another reason is an upgrade. It is the American way to want to live larger. You get the bigger paycheck, you can afford more of the things that you want to be in your life for a long time. Or perhaps you need to do a fix. Salud, by the way. Maybe you made a purchasing mistake. My older brother, Javier, yes, my older brother is named after my dad, it's a family tradition. He thought he could get away with only having a balcony when he has a golden retriever husky mix for a dog. Does anyone want to guess how many months it took for him to realize his mistake? It's on one hand.
1 day.
Honestly, probably. The rest of it was...
I'm not a dog person, but I know huskies are wild.
Yes! I've only ever had huskies and Alaskan Malamutes. They're opinionated. But you are correct. It's probably 1 day to realize his mistake, and then the rest of the week was him just pridefully trying to ignore it. But he very quickly had to find a new home with a backyard, and Aubrey is running around free as she wants. Then there is a job transfer. This is especially true for here in California. I live in LA proper. Does anyone want to take a guess as to when I had to leave from my house to make it here by 9:30?
Probably 7:30.
Earlier.
Oh my god. LA proper, do you mean downtown LA?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes. LA traffic is a nightmare for me. It is a thing I face every single day and I dread it every single day. But it is a very big reason why for job transfers, commuting to work is not often an option for people, especially here in California. And another big reason is personal relationships. Whether up you met the love of your life, you're going to move in together, or down, the relationship went really bad and you need to run. And then also neighborhood changes. You found out that your school nearby got a Blue Ribbon Award. You found out that the town next over has an award-winning fire academy, and it has something there that makes you want to move there. And then also empty nesters. My parents are experiencing this right now. My younger brother is their youngest, and he goes to college in Oregon. My mom keeps calling me, asking me to visit with my son because she says the house sounds too empty. But along with that, other reason is you want to see family more often. But on the flip side, maybe you want to see family a little less often. We all have those aunts and uncles who, whenever you go to a family event, they ask way too personal questions way too early in the day. Other ones are retirement. You've done it. You've worked long enough to where you don't have to work anymore, and now you can finally move into your dream home, whether it's mine, which is a mountain cabin, or my wife's, which is a beachfront property. And of course, we will be compromising and moving into a beachfront property. Or perhaps health problems. Maybe perhaps someone you know or someone in the world had a stroke and was unfortunately wheelchair bound, like my grandfather was. At the time, my grandmother lived in a 2-story building, so they had to move into one that was not only 1 story, but was also much more wheelchair accessible. Perhaps deferred maintenance. Very simply, you bought a home, you were not able to keep up with the upkeep, and it is now both easier and cheaper to sell the home and start somewhere fresh. And hopefully the person who buys the new home is someone who's a home improvement perfectionist. These are the people who will move several times in a year. Most years, for example, I know one person who's a home improvement perfectionist, self-described, who moved 5 times in the last year. And each home they left it better, to the point where the realtor that I work with and my family works with hires them to help beautify a home whenever he's having an open house. And then finally, a cash in equity. You won the lottery. A fun statistic is that of a lottery of 4 million or higher, people on 97% of the time will move within 30 days of finding out they won. Now keep in mind, most people who win the lottery get their money 3 months or so down the line, and they're still moving within 30 days of finding out they won. Or then perhaps a lifestyle change. This could be anything from a job transfer, new neighborhood, or just wanting to start fresh. And then a death in the family. There's too many memories where you currently live, and you need to move so you can grieve properly and move on. So we've gone over a bunch of the different ways that and reasons people move from their homes, and something I want to point out is the majority of these are emotional reasons. They're happening still even when the market is up, or regardless if the market is down. So now that we know all of that, let's ask, what do we as agents need? Well, you need to know when someone gets married. You need to be able to know when someone has a baby. You need to know when someone is becoming an empty nester, when there's a death in the family. You need to know when a house starts going under. You need to have the data analytics that can show you all of this and go through it for, and you need to know when someone is getting a divorce. So what we in our contract with Fast2Farm made is something that I also humbly call the future of farm management. With Fast2Farm, you are able to get things like data analytics where the data is updated daily, and we send you email notifications when anything new happens, such as life events, marriages, births, deaths, divorces, notice of defaults, notice of trusted sales, and more. And all of this will be sent to you via email notifications. We also have a sales heat map over time, so you can see the price that homes in the area you're working in are selling for. Plus, we also have a walking farm app, and both of them include an email marketing system, an instant mail merge system, the ability to get premium cell phone numbers and premium email addresses, instant farm delivery from First American's farm customer service, plus the ability to create your own farm live. And when we released this feature, we noticed a massive increase in people making farms at odd hours of the day, 9 p.m., 3 a.m., 2 a.m. Maybe they're like me. I have a 2-year-old who considers himself a morning person. Of course, when he decides that the morning is whenever he wakes up, which is normally 1 a.m. If I'm gonna be up feeding him the bottle regardless, I might as well get some work done. But we also have things like property profiles that give you a detailed document view from the history, plus a pricing confidence report, which will give you an estimation of what a property will sell for if it's put on the market today and sells in 30 days, 60 days, and 90 days. And we lay out all of the math and reasoning as to why we came to that conclusion. It is something I like to call the great equalizer. Who has been in real estate for more than 5 years? Either of you been in real estate for more than 10 years? Okay, so let's say I'm a brand new realtor and I'm going to a listing conference trying to convince a homeowner to work with me, and he wants to sell his home for $1.5 million. This is baller. You guys go in with your experience, you can look around and probably figure out this home would more likely sell for around $1.3 million. And you can go up and say that and explain, you've been in this business for 5 years, you've sold a lot of homes, you know what you're talking about. And then I, with my only 1 year of experience, can come in and say the same thing, but have the pricing confidence report that lists all of the reasoning out for the homeowner to see. And then also we offer a comps report so you can see exactly how your farm is doing compared to everywhere else. I'm gonna let you take a picture real quick.
So, you have, everybody already has Igniter-E, so through Igniter-E, you get this other farm platform. So the reason why they also have property profiles and comps and all that good stuff on the separate reports, because Igniter-E has their own property profiles, and then we have a separate option for property profiles, but the reason why we have all these different options is so that when you meeting with the client, you could show them different reports. And then with more reports, the more educated you sound and look, to show them, hey, this is why we should price your list, we should list your price at, we should list your house at this price. So that's why it helps a little bit with more options for the different types of reports.
And this is an example of a user live created farm. It is actually a badly drawn farm. Can anyone tell me why?
It doesn't seem like it's showing like the zoo and the gardens, and I don't know, not many neighborhoods.
Not just that, it crosses a major freeway.
Oh, I can't see.
Yeah, the yellow is very pale on the TV right here. But it is right here where it says Denver and across.
Oh.
And the reason I have this on the slideshow is because whenever people start creating farms, they always want to create farms that are massive. I kid you not, we have had people try to create farms the size of LA County. And I always tell them that's a bad idea. When they ask why, I show them this and say, does a house on one side of the boulevard sell on the same as a house on the other side of the boulevard? The answer is no, exactly like, what is your name?
Zara.
Zara? Just like how Zara is shaking her head, the answer is no. And if you're ever worried about being able to create a farm and needing to create smaller ones to get specific data, you are able to. You can have so many farms. I've seen people where their page of farms is in the triple digits. You don't need to worry about running out of data, and you are able to get the most accurate analytics with smaller, focused farms. And you can use those data for things like our property profiles, which can even show a digital copy of the deed of trust, and you can use all of that information in different ways. Maybe you want to use the positive and negative equity data on one of our mail merger e-letters, where you might be noticing it has things where it says like AVM, loan amount due, and equity, and it's no spaces and in brackets. This is our tag system available on all of our written marketing material that will tell the system to auto-fill this information in for you. Meaning that Zara will be getting a letter that has Zara's data and information on it, and if I was sending one to myself, I would get a letter that has my information on it, allowing you to personalize all of the letters for different people and only having to write it once. Speaking of marketing, we also have our e-marketing system. We follow all of the email laws, and the emails will come from your email you use to register for Fast2Farm. We have 200 plus pre-built emails. That is actually getting closer to 240 last time I checked, as we are constantly adding in editable templates that cover a variety of features, life events, holidays. We have e-campaigns that do things like daylight savings, and you can even upload your past clients list into Fast2Farm so you can get all of that data and updated information on them. We also have a mail merge system for physical mails where we have 44 pre-built letters that cover a variety of different topics, as well as the ability to edit all the letters right there. And then there's the walking farm, which, does anyone here like to walk the farms? Does it get kind of annoying when you have to order your farm in your walking order if you just decide you're gonna walk there randomly and you have to reorder it right then and there?
I haven't done that before. I just print out pieces of paper and then I go to the street that I can go to.
You're doing the smart thing. But with our app, you might not even have to do that, because what we do is as soon as you get there, we give you live position and a view of relative data. You just arrive to the farm you want to walk, press a button, and as you're walking by, it will give you data on the properties that you are passing. Plus, you even have the ability to take notes. Let's say you're going door knocking and the person who runs out and says, I'm so sorry, I don't have time to talk. I have to get my daughter to her soccer game. Real thing that happened to my dad. A week later, you just write it down on your notes afterwards saying, went to soccer game, follow up. A week later goes by, you see the note on the actual website because they share data with each other, and you send them a quick email saying, hey, I was the realtor who tried to speak with you. I unfortunately wasn't because you had to get to your daughter's soccer game. By the way, did she win? Guarantee you, as the child of sports parents, nothing will get them to respond to you faster than asking if their kid won at their sports games, especially if they lost. Another feature we have is deep dive. Deep dive. I have a question for you. Has anyone ever gone into a store, you were there for maybe 5-10 minutes, you bought absolutely nothing, but then you leave and suddenly you're getting advertisements for that store or products sold from that store? Has that ever happened to anyone? Here's a creepier example. My phone knew my wife and I were having a baby before I knew my wife and I were having a baby. Because of how the algorithms online work. My wife was looking up symptoms because she was feeling sick. The algorithm noticed she was looking up all of the symptoms from pregnancy. And so we started getting hit with marketing. We at New Homepage have taken that. It's a program called a spider because it makes a web of information about a person and made it available for you to be able to use on your potential clients. Where we can give you things like demographic data, their marital status, their age range, their education level, if they have children and how many children, as well as lifestyle and interest data. What are they into? What do they talk about? And to go into more detail, if it says pet owner dog, like right here, that does not just mean, oh, they have a license to own a dog. No. They love their dog. That dog is probably in a sweater every other day. That dog probably has a Facebook or Instagram account dedicated solely to them. They love their dog. It is something they talk about. It is something that they think about often. Plus, we also give you financial, household, and auto information. Yes?
I got a question in regards to that. People are very private this day in regards to their personal information. So I'm looking at, I have your app and I'm looking that up, if it's an app, and I get that type of information. How do you present that to somebody?
I am so glad you asked because it is literally in the next slide. So you gave me the perfect segue.
Okay.
So using the dog owner ones, for example, you see this is a just sold ad that has the realtor and their dog next to it. It is not saying you own a dog, I own a dog, let's do business. I own 2 massive Alaskan Malamutes. Literally, they come up to here on all fours. If I was buying a home and I saw this ad, I would intrinsically want to work with this realtor more because he has a large dog. He's gonna probably understand what I need in a property more than anything. It is all about being in the right place at the right time with the right type of marketing. Maybe someone likes going on traveling a lot and needs to find an Airbnb in a different state. And perhaps it's a state you happen to work in and you're able to help people find Airbnbs a lot. Maybe it's someone who's very into fitness and things like that, and one of your marketing materials mentions how there's a lovely state-of-the-art gym nearby. Things like that. It's not outright saying, I know information on you. Don't do that. It's the fastest way to get people to ignore you.
Right.
It is just all about being the right place at the right time with just information that would catch people's interest.
Okay.
And now you're going to see further examples of that, and I have to apologize ahead of time. My dad gave me the horrible power of letting me choose which ads that were created by real clients went onto the slideshow, and you're gonna get a real sense of my humor. I'll sell your home quickly, and for top dollar, I shit you not. Finding the right agent can be rough. Call today at 1-899 for real. But it's not just for pet owners or for hobbies. We also are able to show you occupation data. This is one of our clients she's in a family of veterans. She does real estate full time, and her father, who is a Vietnam veteran, does it part time as a hobby. When we first released this feature, her father released just a simple ad of him standing and saluting in front of an American flag with the text saying, if you're a veteran who wants to work with another veteran, call this number. 3 days later, he calls us asking us to take the ad down because he can't keep up with the number of veterans who are calling him. He literally, I was on the call, I was like, Alejandro, can you guys take the ad down? I do this as a hobby. What I did instead is I happen to know his daughter, so I called her and explained the situation, and now she's picking up any clients that he does not want to deal with. Another way that you can use it, and this one is one of my personal favorites, is to ingrain yourself in with a community. And we all know one of the best ways to do that is through charity work and other local organizations. Deep Dive can tell you which ones are they the most active in, which ones are they the most interested in. Perhaps you start reaching out to the organization. You have the ability to do Facebook and Instagram ads extremely easily and very quickly. You could say, hi, I have the ability to do a lot of marketing really quick. Is there any marketing I can do to help an event you're holding or something like that. Or you could just go to the events, get to know the people, so that when they do decide to sell your homes and they're thinking, I want to work with a realtor who I know will actually take care of me, you will be the first person they think of. And another feature we have is the What's a Home Worth. It's very simple. It is a QR code that you can send out to a potential client. They scan it, they fill out some info, and they will see a very accurate estimation of what their property is worth. That takes things into account, not just the property themselves, but also the neighborhood around it. Does the school nearby have any awards? Does the police department or the fire department have any awards? Things like that are taken into account. One of the best uses I've seen for it is not only just people sending it out to as marketing, but it also shows who are the people interested. You're notified whenever someone fills out their What's a Home Worth form. So those are the people you know you can focus on for sure. Now I've gone over a bunch of different stuff in here. This is just a short list of what our competition does not provide, which is a polygon farm tool that lets you draw on a map specifically what area you want to be on the farm, the extended property data, the farm management system, the automated update system. But the main thing I want to focus on is that with signing up to Fast2Farm through First American, you get 99% of this product completely for free. The only things you would have to pay for are the things title companies cannot legally give you for free. So that would be things like phone numbers, email addresses, which even in those cases, because we at New Homepage are kind of petty about that, so we charge you a couple cents per record we can find. But that is the end of the slideshow. Thank you very much. I'm just going to switch over to First American.
So you said that for a fee, you can get the email addresses and the phone numbers.
Mm-hmm.
But would we have to verify whether they're not on the do not call list?
Yes, unfortunately, we are legally not allowed to verify it for you anymore. And the reason for that is we used to be able to, all third parties used to be able to. But then, specifically 2 agents whose names I cannot remember, we got in trouble for calling 1,000 people a day. And they were rude about it. They would, normally when someone calls in and the person says, excuse me, I'm on the do not call list, how did you get this? We all know the trick is to just be polite, apologize. They would argue back with the client. And enough complaints came in where compliance just said, none of you are allowed to do that, the agents have to do it themselves now.
The reason why it's a lot of liability for everybody that says, oh, it's gonna be scrubbed. We can't say from today to tomorrow if somebody took themselves off of the do not call list. So it's for everybody, because people were complaining, so everybody just said, okay, you guys, it's your responsibility. So we used to be able to offer that.
Gotta hate it when agents ruin it for everyone.
Someone ruins it for everyone.
Yeah, well, it's always.
One rotten egg spoils the whole bunch. But what I've just logged into is what you will see whenever you log into Fast2Farm. And I'm going to be honest, if I wanted to, I could talk about this product for 4 hours straight and not repeat myself once.
It's a lot, there's a lot
It's
in
a
here.
very diverse and full product, and I don't want to do that. So instead, I'm just going to show you 3 main features that I think you'll like a lot. And the first is if we go over to the farm manager, where you'll see any and all farms that you've created. You see the farm name, when you created it, its current turnover rate, the number of records. Thing I want to point out right now is the farm grade. What we do when we create a farm on Fast2Farm is a live farm. We are monitoring it for you. And one of the ways we show that is the farm grade, where every single day, each of the farms in your account will be graded from A to D. A, as it says right here, it contains a high number of potential investment properties, it has a high turnover rate, and it is a farm where things are currently happening. It's the one that we recommend you focus your marketing on. So I'm gonna use C for an example, but D is the exact opposite, very low turnover rate, a very low demographic population. Things are just not happening there, and an agent could still get business from there. They would have to do a ton of extra work in their marketing to do so. But if we go into one of the farms, we can get even more specific. Right now, I just clicked on one and it says working. What it's doing is the system is checking to make sure all of the information in the farm is as up to date as it can be, as we pull all of our data from the MLSs and the assessors. And as soon as it's done, it's updating the stats right now. As soon as it's done, I will show you my favorite pre-built filter. Dang it, normally when I do this, I time it to where it finishes loading as soon as I finish talking. And it happened when I practiced today before coming over. No,
It's not ever gonna cooperate on
it doesn't. It really doesn't. I think my laptop just kind of hates me because one time I let my son do this with the keyboard. But as you can see, it's even updating things like the equity data. It makes sure each and every single thing is as up to date as we possibly can. And we even check our own sources for things where we know the assessor is very slow.
Do you have like when we do this and we forget what you said, do you have like a training online or something?
Yes, at the end of this, I will be showing you where you can go to get more information about the entire product itself, as well as specific things if you are short on time. So this is what one of the farms looks like when you're in it. It's a classic assessor record, owner name, site address. If I scroll down, you'll see things like a mail address. But what I want to draw your attention to right here is where it says complete farm. And if you click on it, you'll see this drop-out menu. If you go to stats, you'll see all of the stats in the farm. The average sales price, the average number of stay years, the average 12 months, all of that and more, plus the current turnover rate, and we even break it all down into different graphs if you're like me, who's more of a visual learner. Plus we have all of the classic niches in real estate: recent buyers, out of state, absentee, new homeowners, long-term homeowners, stay years. Homeowners exemption shows you everyone in the farm who is eligible for that county's homeowner exemption and has not taken it yet. But our bread and butter is by far our hot movers farm. And to explain that, I have a question for you all. Have you heard of this niche technology that's been going out through the world? Some people use it, some people are very against it. Have you guys heard of AI? So a fun history fact is we have had actually AI capable technology since the early 80s. Problem was, either there wasn't enough data or people didn't know what to do with it. Unless your name is Javier de la Quebra and you've been programming since you were 9 years old and you describe yourself as an uber geek. Because at this moment I need to point out, my job is literally just bragging about something my dad built, which is my favorite thing to do on. Anyway, I have the easiest job in the world. But what Hot Movers is the culmination of all of that experience. It is 27 AI algorithms that work around the clock looking at things like market demand, internet activity, social media activity, investor activity, what you say next to your Alexa, because even though Amazon says they're not listening, they are listening. All of that and more to find everyone in your farm who is the most likely to sell their home in the next 24 months. We are currently sitting at an accuracy rating of 78% for this, which is the highest in the market. Our closest competitor barely broke the 51 margin earlier this year. Now imagine this, you're able to go into a farm, you go specifically to the hot movers, and in this farm there are 3,000 records. There are 3,000 properties. In the hot movers, there are 83. It's a lot easier to market to 83 people who you know are likely to sell and are probably researching it than marketing to 3,000 at the time. And
So that's what they're called, hot movers?
Yes.
Because they move a lot?
Either they move a lot or they're extremely likely to move. The joke that was explained to me by my trainer, it's like their house is getting too hot and they want to move somewhere else. Plus we have a ton of different ways you can market to them. Email marketing, mail merge marketing. By just clicking get emails and phones, you can see how many phone numbers we're most likely able to find you, how many email addresses we're most likely able to find you, and we even lay out the total cost you will spend, and we make it clear on the page. We only charge you for things we can actually find you. So of these 83, if the system only finds me 70 phone numbers, I'm only going to pay for those 70 phone numbers. The other 13, the system could not find. We don't believe it's fair to charge you for them.
This is probably how I've gotten on all those real estate, and other realtors in my area have gotten me on all these newsletters, and I'm like, what? How did I get on it? Now I know. It was you guys. Just kidding. Yeah.
Another one of our big features is our premium dashboard. This shows all of the life events you can get when you're on an upgraded account. Now this is one of the things to where you do have to be on an upgraded account to get access to this. We do have it to where you can purchase the life events a la carte when you're creating a farm without having to be upgraded. There is one caveat to that I'll explain in a moment. The life events we do offer are notice of default, notice of trust deed sales, marriages, divorces, births, deaths, and graduations. And we get them to you on a premium dashboard within 45 days of them being filed. And to give you an idea of how fast it is, I'm going to tell you a story. And it involves divorces, so we can all guess how this is gonna go. When we first released the premium dashboard, an agent who claims to focus on divorces got a divorce record from us in his home farm. i.e. his hometown where he was farming. And it happened to be one of his neighbors who he knew. He was friends with them, so he felt very confident in walking over and going door knocking and saying something along the lines of, hey, I heard around town that you guys might be getting a divorce. If that is true, I'm so sorry to hear that. If you need any help with your house, please let me know. Now there are several problems just with his marketing pitch in general, but the two main problems was, number one, the person he was speaking to was not the one who filed for divorce. Number two, the woman he was speaking to had not been served her divorce papers yet.
Oh.
So, understandably, he got yelled at a lot. He called us, he was very upset. He was like, they're not getting a divorce, I want my money back. And so we just very calmly reimbursed him, he canceled his account, and we waited. A month later, he calls us back, and I was on the call for this luckily, and he says, I would like to apologize for my behavior on the previous call. They are getting divorced, they hadn't been served their divorce papers yet, and I went over too early. And so we gave him his account back, and specifically because of that, in our marketing, in our managed print letters, we have template letters written by experts in each of these fields for the purposes of marketing. And because of that guy, we have more divorce letters than literally every other life event in existence. Now, the caveat I mentioned, if you decide to purchase life events a la carte instead of the premium dashboard, if you're purchasing life events a la carte, you are able to get them in a bigger range. However, they will be 45 days old or older. So you could buy like the past 6 months of divorces, but if you wanted those fresh ones where someone has literally just filed and there's a chance that the other people might not know about it, so you can get in with the smart marketing of find a new home quickly using divorces, or find a bigger home if you've had a family upgrade for births, premium dashboard is the one where you want to go because they are the things that we get extremely quickly to you.
And just, I mean, I guess you were gonna go over costs at the end.
Yes, so yes. And then the final thing I'm going to show you, this is one of our free things that you can do. It is how to find something we call pre-turnover rate. This is one of Angie's favorite things on the planet.
Yes.
And what it is, it's basically, you're able to find an area where the turnover rate is very low, but is almost guaranteed to go up extremely quickly. The way you go is you go over to the analytics, you go over the sales hot zone map right here, and then you're going to type in a city. Let's choose Pasadena, for example. And then you're going to choose 60 days old data. And then as you're looking around, you're going to be looking for a property that is by itself, separated by things like a freeway, in its own neighborhood, like this one right here. You're going to click on it and you're going to pull a centroid farm. And that type of farm is called a loaner. Now, can anyone guess the reason why you want to find one that's by itself like that? People, psychologically, we are designed to want to go with the flow. When they see the just sold signs, when they see the just listed signs, the open houses, the people who don't even interact with that stuff but just see it, they start thinking to themselves things like, what do they know that I don't know? Why are they doing this? What's the reason? Is there a house damage? Or maybe they know something about the market. And so they'll do some investigating. And one of the investigative things they often do is they go to their preferred AVM. Let's use Zillow for an example. And when they go to Zillow, they're gonna notice that their home has had a massive increase in value. Now we know the reason, it's not magic, it's just the AVMs were working on old data, and now they have new data, so they're updating everything. But to the client, it looks like, oh my gosh, the person who sold the home must have known this was coming, maybe I should sell my home too. A real life example of this is where my parents live, the average stay years is 24 years. I'm 26 for context. The entire time I was born, home had never gone for sale. Once, and only once, when I was in college, a home went for sale. Within 2 months, 4 more homes had gone for sale and sold. Because of those exact reasons, people looked up the AVMs. They wondered maybe they knew something about the neighborhood that they didn't, and they got curious. And when someone gets curious, they're likely to go to the first person they see who's providing answers, which if you create a loaner farm, would be you.
Okay, so just a question, I'm a little confused. Okay, so you selected that and named it loaner because that's the only house in that area that's for sale. So
That
you
is
would
sold.
then, that is sold, that's what the dark purple means?
So the dark purple is the price of it sold.
Oh, okay, okay.
right here. So in this case, it was between 400,000 and $1 million.
And then you would farm that area based on that house.
Yeah, so you would create the farm. I'm not gonna do it right here because it causes the entire thing to process. You just go over to the farm manager, and it's gonna have a low turnover rate. It's gonna have a turnover rate of like 3 to 2% at first, but then you start doing your marketing, your Facebook and Instagram ads, your mail merge letters, your e-letters, and when people start deciding, I wanna sell my home, you're gonna be the first person they think of.
So Alejandro, what's the difference between each of the loaners? Is there a difference, or are you just randomly picking a loaner?
I look for specific things such as like, are they actually by themselves? And then I'll look for like, are they right next to a stadium? Because that does change things and stuff like that. But the main thing is, are they by themselves in the neighborhood when you go to 60 days data?
Got it.
Okay. Are there any questions about Fast2Farm while I'm here? No? Okay, so the last thing I'll show you is where you can go to find out more information about it. First, we have the FAQ. This lists out a bunch of things like how your account works, what is premium data, how do the hot movers work in more detail, but we also list out all of the upgrades you could potentially do. For example, the $15 a year gain you access to the mail merge letters, and as you go down, you'll see each thing. Something I wanna make clear. If you, for example, do the full upgrade of $59.99 a month, you're not only just getting all of these things right here, you're also getting every single feature that is available in the upgrades below it. We at New Homepage do not believe in the idea of someone having to subscribe to something multiple times to get multiple benefits, like some companies do, Google. So when you upgrade to one, you're going to get access to everything that is below it. And if while you're looking, you see something that might catch your interest, such as, what is NHP Valet? Why does it say AI writing assistant? What are the short-term rentals or anything like that? You can go over to our training videos where we have videos on each and every single feature, or you can maybe get in contact with us through the contact support or sign up for one of our webinars. We also upload all of our past webinars that are the most up-to-date on each and every single feature. And in contacting us at support, you have 4 different ways of doing it. There's the classic phone number, where you can call one of our lovely support staff that I personally endorse. The only ones I have not trained are the support staff who trained me when I worked there. Or you might be like me, to where if my son sees me on my phone for longer than 5 seconds, he sings the song of his people at the top of his lungs. So I often like doing live chat support where I can speak with my support staff via text. But maybe you have a mechanical question. You want to know where you could go to find a feature or what it's supposed to do. You are more than welcome to ask our AI chat support that knows everything about the feature itself. Or you can create a ticket for things like a technical issue, you need to change your password, or you want to schedule another presentation with one of our wonderful trainers. Right. But that is the end. Thank you so much for listening.
Any questions?
I asked, I interrupted.
Okay. Good. You still have some time to grab some lunch before you
Oh,
go.
you're sweet, thank you.
Yeah, before you bring that as a zucchini bread for your son.
Oh my God.
My daughter loves it too.
I love that. It's my favorite. Good thing I didn't do carbs.
Have been in theater, real talk, if someone brought me bread after I had worked in it, I had been in a thing, they would be my favorite person on the planet.
No, but that was really great, cause like, you know,